The GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
Two of our quarterfinal matches are done here on day one. Two more remain, including this one, which will highlight the top seed in the tournament. The Harding Lady Bisons are taking on the Southeastern Oklahoma State University Savage Storm. Good afternoon, I'm Joey McWilliams along with Noah Ray, and it is a privilege to get to talk volleyball with you today here on the GAC Sports Network. The top seed, the Lady Bisons, obviously no strangers to the tournament, three-time champions as well, and another top seed to their credit, coached by Meredith Fear. And Noah, I know you've seen this team a time or two before. They always seem to bring it, and especially in November.
Yeah, I mean, Harding is a team that the conference tournament is something they're well familiar with. You know, they've created a lot of success, and I think consistency in the coaching staff and the expectations, and they have a lot of leadership in this group too, so this is not an unknown territory for them by any means.
Southeastern Oklahoma has not made it to Hot Springs too many times, but they're here this year, and as the number 8 seed under Coach Nicole Solom-Mitchell, we'll talk about them in just a moment as things are underway here for Harding. First serve, and the point goes to Southeastern. We'll get you the starting lineups right now then, as Southeastern will bring out, wearing number 3, Makara Moffitt. She's a 5'9" junior middle from Pflugerville, Texas. Wearing number 8 is Faith Kruby, a 6-foot sophomore right side from Carthage, Texas, as Southeastern gets the first 2 points. The player of the year in the Great American Conference, Denari Mills, a 5'7" outside, a sophomore from Cypress, Texas. She's wearing number 10. Wearing number 12 is Patience Lewis, a 5'2" sophomore libero from Pearland, Texas. Wearing number 13 is Macy Morrison. She is a 6-foot right side sophomore from Bandera, Texas. Wearing number 14, Peyton Kriegel, a 5'4" defensive specialist, a senior from Center Point, Iowa, and Sandra Achimpon, who is a 5'8" junior outside from Gothenburg, Sweden. Harding's point on the board right now, looking to try to make it 2. Southeastern coached by Nicole Solom-Mitchell, who is in her 6th season with the Savage Storm. There is Mills, and the set back. Mills with a dig. Excuse me, she had the tap over right then. Another look. Now an opportunity for the Savage Storm. Once again, tapped over. Moffitt's been there. 3 or 4 opportunities she has had. And that one will land just inside the back line. Denari Mills with another point. Harding starters today, wearing number 3 is Ashley Lampkin, who is a 6'3" middle from Jonesboro, Arkansas, redshirt freshman. Wearing number 6 is Libby Hinton. She is a 6-foot middle, a 5th-year player from Glen Rose, Texas. A number of those 5th-year players on this roster. However, not all of them will see court time today. Number 7, Gracia Soriano. Gracia is a 5'8" defensive specialist in her 5th season from Lima, Peru. That will drop, and Harding will get the point. Wearing number 9 is Avery Hall. She's a 5'11" sophomore setter from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Number 10 is Logan Smith Morgan, a 6-foot outside, a 5th-year player from Copperell, Texas. Number 13 is Emma Winiger, defensive specialist. She's 5'5", a 5th-year player from Dallas, Texas. And wearing number 16 is JC Lambert, a 5'11" middle sophomore from Pingree Grove, Illinois. Meredith Fear is in her 11th season with the program, and she has this team back as the top seed once again. Southeastern, the number 8 seed, playing strong in this opening set and picking up another point right there, Noah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for Southeastern is they had a big win against Harding, you know, not too long ago during regular season play. And so for them, it's how can they build on that momentum going into today's 3rd conference match or tournament match.
You know, that team also, I mean, it's relatively the same team for both of these two, although there are some differences along the way. One of them is a player that we didn't mention for Southeastern, who is the setter for this team, Ruthie Forsum.
Yeah, I think, this group faced, the injury bug during the year and unfortunately had a couple players go down, Ruthie included, and she was a big part of this team's offense. She's been at Southeastern her entire career, and she's done a phenomenal job there. She was one of the most well-known setters throughout the conference over the years, and that was a big loss for the team, but that doesn't take away from the arms that they still have there.
Ruthie, and again, we talked about those left-handed setters that can just kind of poke one over and find a way to get kills as well. Sarah Moorhead, who is on the bench for Harding, she's a fifth-year player. She's not out there right now either, and she's one of those players that just, you always have to be watching her as well. Neither one of them out on the court right now, so it's a little bit different look there. But for Southeastern, Coach Mitchell mentioned that, this is a team that did get that win over Harding. First ever win in Searcy for Southeastern as a program, and they just have to play with that same confidence.
Yeah, it's really important to know all the accomplishments that this group has had this year, especially, coming off of a season last year that wasn't, the most successful, and they faced that adversity and they come back this year really hungry, and they've had a lot of great wins. Certainly some frustrating losses at times, but they've done a lot of really big things and hit a lot of milestones this year for this group. So, the fact that they're in this tournament is huge for this program.
6-5 as Harding takes a 1-point advantage now here in the first set. Winiger to serve. That one just tapped over. Defense in place. Nice job. The back row for Kriegel. And the point will go to Harding, though. Mills already with 3 kills. Denari Mills, the Great American Conference Player of the Year, averaging 4.75 kills per set. It's good enough for first in the Great American Conference, good enough for fifth in all of Division II. That one put back over. Noella Roca, coming in for Southeastern, and Roca sends that one a little bit wide. She can have some strong moments for the Storm as well. Meanwhile, Harding has picked up 3 quick points and have a 3-point advantage.
Yeah, I think Harding's definitely sticking to their game plan of, playing clean and just outlasting teams. That's what they've done so well on is talking with Coach Fears earlier, they know that they're not the most offensive team in the conference, but they pride themselves on what they do in the backcourt defensively. And the fact that they're willing to go, those longer rallies and create success by just that one more ball mentality.
Great job on defense for the Savage Storm. Achimpong as well as Roca going up strong. Well, for Coach Fear, too, you look down the roster, and, one of the things that stands out to me, 6 fifth-year players. The COVID year is about to be something that's in the rearview mirror, and for that, I'm pretty thankful as a broadcaster, just because it'll make it easier for me to be able to get these names together and how long they stay at a program. However, not all of those fifth-year players are on the court right now. You can look on the Harding bench and see a couple of big names like Sarah Moorhead, Kelly McKinnon, who are not dressed out today.
Yeah, it's been, Coach Fear said it herself, it's been a weird year. I think everyone in the conference, unfortunately, at some point has kind of faced the injury bug. And I think the COVID years especially, you have those older bodies that can only handle so much. And especially for a couple of those big names that you already mentioned, they played such an important role throughout their career. And so their bodies are definitely beat up with all the playing time that they've had.
Yeah, definitely, it can take its toll. Skylar McKinnon gets the kill right there. Speaking of the McKinnon sisters, I wanted to mention her. She comes in, she has 2 kills on the day. She'll take a seat now out of the rotation. Southeastern trailing by 2, make it 3, as Achimpong can't get that one across the net. It's 10-7, Harding on top.
Yeah, I think for the Southeastern offense, for them to be really successful today, they need to get the middles involved. When the first time these 2 teams have faced this season, that's where they had their success. They found a way to always make the middles an option. And the pins, really the only time they were getting sets is when they were out of system. And so I think, prioritizing the middle for Southeastern would be really important against this Harding defense.
Smith digging for that one. Roca there at the net. And it's enough because that went just wide. maybe celebrated a little early with that defensive job at the net, but still able to come away with the point. Southeastern fortunate on that one. You know, one of the things I did want to mention also about having all those fifth-year players, then you look down this roster, 3 freshmen listed on the team. This is something that Coach Meredith Fear is going to get to do. I'm sure she's already in the process of doing this right now, but hasn't had the need to do it as much, and that's recruiting. She's definitely going to have to fill some spots.
Well, I think that's the case, you know, for everybody. I think a lot of the coaches, especially in our conference, have relied so much on those extra years of eligibility, and it's going to make the recruiting challenge a little bit tricky here in the next couple of years of how do you replace, you know, a 22, 23-year-old that has that court experience, that has that high-level IQ and the maturity, you know, that they bring to the team. And especially for Coach Fear, she has a lot of leadership in that group.
Gracious Ariano with the serve for Harding. Achimpong puts that just over the net. Great dig. And that one sent deep by Mills.
Net violation there by Harding.
Mills not only someone who is at the top of the conference standings with kills per set. That's an instructional video for me. I'm not great at tying my shoe. I needed to watch that one, Noah. So that was important. I appreciate the truck sending us that.
No,
but Mills is also at the top of the conference. She's second, 2.5 digs per set. Second in her, second at Southeastern in that category as well.
Yeah, I mean, she's been really important to this offense. I think, you know, coming in last year as a freshman, she had a lot of responsibility, and I think she's done a really nice job this year as a sophomore, and she's extremely efficient. I mean, even with Southeastern only keeping her in 3 rotations, she still finds a way to, you know, get the ball plenty, and has done a phenomenal job throughout this year.
Harding got a 3-point advantage. They're sticking with it. Another opportunity for Mills. And will be a point for Southeastern. You know, one of the things that Mills does do well, she's one of those outside hitters. Doesn't come in. She's 5'7". You look at that and you think, well, we saw 5'6" with Brazil earlier. Mills is very strong.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's the one that we talked about this morning with Lacey Mott, you know, being undersized and not playing like it by any means. I think both of them, what they offer to their teams is just how heavy the arm is, and they definitely have a heavy hand, and they're really shotsy and smart and see the court extremely well. So for her just to be a sophomore and have the success that she already has had.
Olivia Weeder coming in, and Weeder, a freshman from Conway, Arkansas. Skylar McKinnon checking back in as well. Great placement that time by Mills. That's how you get some of those kills too. We talked about that strong arm, but she also knows where to put the ball, and that had a little English on it too.
No, I think she does a really nice job too of listening to her defenders behind her. You know, Patient Lewis is right behind her the entire time, telling her where to go. And so I think this group has done a really nice job playing as a team and playing as one, where Denari's definitely getting the credit for the kills, but they have a lot of help in the backcourt.
Roca strong at the net once again. Southeastern now within a point of the top-seeded Lady Bison. Spent one match talking about Bison. We're going to have to make the plural a little different here in this one. You get used to that here in the Great American Conference. Smith with authority. And I'll get used to calling her Smith Morgan as well. So Harding fans, bear with me on that. Logan Smith Morgan, another 5th-year player, Glen Rose High School in Texas, and outside. A former player of the year in the Great American Conference as well. That was last, I was going to say, that was last touched by Harding. It went out. It hit a Southeastern player. It was last touched by Harding, and it went out.
Yeah, there's certainly going to be some confusion here with the call. You see both sides right away sending their captains up. Calling that was back row attack. Setter being dead, unfortunately, for Southeastern.
Okay. Did not see her move up. I understand that now, but I was going to say, if they're going to call if they were calling it out, it was last touch by Harding. So interesting how that went down.
Well, and those judgment calls can be so tricky, too, because especially from our perspective, we may see something different than the officials. And so I think that was the right call on that one, where Morrison, the setter for Southeastern, she's really tall, and she doesn't really need to leave the ground to be considered back row attack when she's dead. So I think that was a great call on the officials' part. Just long for Southeastern. That's another big swing by Roca. I think the biggest thing, talking with Coach Solon Mitchell earlier today, was she really wanted this team to play the serve and pass game, you know, controlling that first ball and staying very offensive.
Well, Harding puts a couple more points on the board, enough that Coach Solon Mitchell decides to take a timeout. We'll take that one as well. Lady Bison's up by 5 here in Hot Springs.
Hey, Future Readies. Are you interested in careers that help your community? Henderson State University offers degrees in nursing, teaching, psychology, social work, and health and human performance. Visit hsu.edu/degrees to see the full list of degree opportunities. We are here to help you be ready for what's next. Contact us at admissions@hsu.edu or visit hsu.edu/readies to apply today or schedule a campus visit.
The professors care and they go out of their way to make sure that you are going to succeed.
Hi, I'm Rolante. I'm a sophomore at Southeastern, and we help make this video.
Savage Storm at the net early and often, but not enough against this Harding team. Lady Bison's up by 5 now. Set number 1. We've had a 5-set match here already today and a 3-set match as well. Top seed. Great job by Smith Morgan again. Full extension, and Harding follows with the point. That is set up by great defense to allow Harding to be in a good position to get that point on the offense.
Yeah, that was something Coach Fears definitely talked about, both of us, about prior to the match, was that, you know, she really needs her defense to create offense, and we need to be really scrappy. And at the end of this match, she wants to be the better defensive team. So, I mean, that's another example of that.
Well, Chloe Ingersoll had her first kill of the afternoon off that Smith Morgan dig. Southeastern turns around and gets another point, trailing again by 5. Here's McKinnon, and a strong attack by McKinnon results in another Harding point, up by 6 and need 6 to take set 1. Winiger. Here could be a great opportunity as McKinnon, and a nice dig for Southeastern. There's Ingersoll again. Winiger is there. She's doing what she has done so often before. That goes deep. Southeastern will get a point.
Saw great defensive plays from both sides. I think that's the biggest thing with this matchup specifically, is both teams are extremely strong defensively. They definitely use their DSs for good reason, just because they're so strong in the backcourt and definitely make one more ball.
McKinnon once again. We talked about, by the way, McKinnon, second team All-GAC performer this year, 2.92 kills per set. Winiger, we just mentioned her, second team All-GAC performer, 4.26 digs per set. That's 4th in the Great American Conference. She's had 34 service aces as well. Not serving this time. In fact, for Harding, that is Avery Hall. Hall off of the free ball coming over, and Ingersoll gets almost an excuse me kill.
Yeah, I mean, high out-of-system ball, and she went up and just took a big swing, especially at a crucial point, too, you know, when it looked like Southeastern started to get a little bit more momentum, a little bit more confidence behind them. And again, those big rips are what's going to help this Harding team.
Harding now up by a touchdown as another shoe being tied here. Speaking of Harding being up by a touchdown, the Bison's football team, the top seed in the Super Region 3 football playoffs. And a double for Southeastern will give Harding one more point here in set number 1. Harding and Henderson State both making the Division II football playoffs from the Great American Conference.
Harding had a great season for football and actually earned themselves a first-round bye here in the region. So they have this weekend off while Henderson plays.
Ingersoll again with authority. Another kill for Chloe Ingersoll. That's something I always thought was weird, too, the way that the makeup of that playoff. It went from 6 teams to 7 teams in a region. Make it an even 8, but it does give that top seed a bye. In the meantime, we'll take a break as well ourselves, not unlike Harding this weekend. Harding up by 9, and with Southeastern's timeout, we'll take that break and be back in a moment here on the GAC Sports Network.
Hey, what you doing this for? Just out here for recreational purposes? No. Working, man.
Mission today is to work hard until you can't go no more. It's always a team mission. Can't get nowhere without the team. It takes everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, you better be open. You better be open. Man, listen, It's only one attitude that you gotta bring.
Let's go.
That you need to bring.
Work. I mean, we come out here every day to get better. It was easy, everybody to do it, man.
We work out on the street, you feel me? We the best in the nation. We outwork y'all, we outwork anybody.
Keep fighting.
We always grinding, always getting better.
Every time I come through these lines, no matter where these lines at, work. Maximum effort.
Let's go.
Savage Storm trailing by 9. The timeout, an opportunity to slow things down, but 2 points away for Harding and having the serve right now. It's an uphill climb, to say the least.
Yeah, I think Harding came out hot this first set, you know, and staying really aggressive. And, you know, they came in with a chip on their shoulders. Last time they played Southeastern had 1 and 4. So they certainly had something to prove to themselves with this matchup.
1 point away now as it's set point here in set number 1. And you have to think that, too. I mean, it's tough to continue beating the same team over and over and over again. Southeastern, at some point in time, was going to find a way to get that win, and did this season on the road in Searcy. That one off the antenna. Point Harding, set Harding, 25-14. We'll pick up there and talk about that a little bit more when we come back for set number 2 here. Our third quarterfinal match of the day, the top seed with a 1-set advantage as we head to set 2 in a moment. Back on the GAC Sports Network.
How to spot a boll weevil. Boll weevils are a fascinating species. They're known to travel in packs, are highly intelligent, and can thrive in any environment. Each and every boll weevil is unique, and they have unique opportunities. But they all share one common trait. Every boll weevil has a bright future awaiting wherever they go. And that's how you spot a boll weevil. Learn more at uamont.edu.
Character, culture, and Christ have been the motto for Southern Nazarene University for many, many years. When I came as president, I was really curious about those words and really curious to dig into the archives. In fact, a conversation on campus one day with a visitor to our campus who asked that same question: what is character, culture, and Christ? Last but certainly not least, in fact, I would put it first, and that is serving Christ. I like the fact that it's last because it does undergird everything that we do. Our responsibility, I believe, more than anything else, is to serve our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Before the house, before the office, the late nights and new bosses. Before the last hugs, the wins and the losses. Before building the team, before building yourself, the rise and grinds, all day, every days. Before the letter, before the dream, there was a kid who loved to play. If you have the talent and dedication to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but we know there's growth in the journey. At ATU, we value this moment because here, nature becomes your classroom. So breathe it in. You've got this. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now, because our focus is on your success.
The top seed in the conference as they square off against the number 8 seed. Southeastern has had some moments on defense, not unlike that one, but you've seen a lot of the strength of the Lady Bisons, and you see more of it right there. Highlight after highlight where those strong arms just wind up and find a way to get that ball across. Denari Mills, the GAC Player of the Year, with some kills early on for Coach Nicole Solomon. You see her right there along with Taylor Gore. We'll talk about them a little bit more in a moment. In the meantime, I'd like to take a moment to talk with the person who is currently sitting next to me, the head coach of the Oklahoma Baptist Bison, who won in 3 sets in our second quarterfinal match. Coach Anna Howell, thank you for sitting in with us for a moment.
Thanks for having me.
Coach, obviously 3 sets and you took care of business, and it seemed to just accelerate as the match went on, especially when you got into that 3rd set and you found a way really to solve what Ouachita was doing. A couple of 7-point victories and then an 11-point victory after that. Talk about your win today.
I think that our team played really well. They played really disciplined. They did a great job of scouting and being prepared for the match. And I think that they really executed what we were looking to do. We were really trying to be balanced on offense, and I thought we did a good job at that. We had a lot of people scoring, and our hitters were ready to go. And then defensively, I thought we made some great moves. We did some really good things defensively, and I was really, really happy to see that.
I said 11-point victory. That was this last one here. You had a 13-point victory in your 3rd set today, so I don't want to take away from the points that you put on the board and your defensive prowess there. But the defense was there and obviously made a difference. I think the biggest thing that stood out, I mean, you hit 312 for the match. You hit, I believe, 459 in the 1st set. I mean, this was very much a clean game for you all.
Yeah, see, I mean, you know, Ouachita is one of the cleanest teams in the conference. You know, this entire year they have really had a great hitting percentage. They take care of the ball really, really well. So you can't go on an error streak against them because they're really clean as well. So we knew that coming in, that they play really well. They play really controlled, and we would have to terminate in our opportunities and then rally when we couldn't. So that was something that we definitely had to talk about with Ouachita because you know, they're a very well coached, very disciplined team, and they don't make a lot of errors.
When you think back, and I look at this, especially as the 3rd set went on, I mean, we could talk for another 3 or 4 questions just about how well your team produced offensively. It was a very balanced attack. Jill Leslie with 11 kills, Safford with 9, Helmuth with 9 as well. Nice look on the 6-2 rotation as your setters come through, with Boyer coming in as a freshman, doing a fantastic job. Galt also with a number of assists. But I look at the defense and really how the defense asserted itself, again, especially in that 3rd set.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I do think that both of our setters, I thought Emily and Avery played really, really well in that match. They also played good defense for us. But I think you know, we just really had to be able to defend the ball against that team that isn't going to make a lot of errors, you know, and not just touch the ball, not just get it up, but defend it in system enough to be able to use what we've got at the net with our great hitting hitting ability from all the locations on the net.
So you're playing Southwestern Oklahoma. Are you familiar with that team?
Oh my goodness!
Played them a time or two in the last few years.
Both times to 5, of course. So at their place and then at our place. So Southwestern, Josh is a great coach. He's done a great job with that team. We've got sisters. So Taryn Galt for Southwestern and Avery Galt. Those are 2 sisters that are squaring off again. And we've had some big matches against Southwestern, and we're excited. We're excited to play, but both teams know that they're going to have to put it all out there. And I love that. I love when you have to put it all out there and you have to really earn it and go after it. And SWOSU is a great team, and we're gonna have to play well. It'd be nice to play as clean as we did today, but you never know what each day brings, and it's just gonna definitely be a battle.
All right. Well, I know that you all are hungry. You deserve an opportunity to go get something to eat. So, Coach, thank you very much for taking time with us today. Coach Anna Howell, the head coach for the Oklahoma Baptist Bison volleyball team. We will see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Meanwhile, while we've been talking, Harding has done pretty much nothing but score. And now another point on the board for the Lady Bisons, which will take us to a timeout as Coach Solon Mitchell has seen just about enough. We will take that timeout as well. Lady Bisons rolling in set number 2.
Everyone tells you to think about the future, but strength, knowledge, and wisdom are what you build along the way. There's power in the process. We value this moment because at ATU, you write your own script to what comes next. So here's your cue. Right here, right where you are. Focus on the now,
5, 4,
because our focus is on your success.
At East Central University, we educate and empower students to transform the world. We provide an exceptional hands-on learning experience with professors who really go that extra mile. East Central University encourages students to become who they are meant to be while making lasting memories. East Central University, welcome home.
You spend time talking with a coach on one side, talking about one game, and just kind of watching what's happening on the court. And Harding was saying, don't worry about this. We'll take care of scoring our honor, and they've done just that. 8-1 to get started here in the second set. The Lady Bisons have come out on fire and really coming off some momentum near the end of the first set.
Yeah, I think for them, the second set was almost more important than the first set. The first time around against Southeastern, they had won the first set and then just lost all momentum after that. And so I think for them, the second set was more important. And that was definitely a talk that we had with Coach Fears of we have to stay disciplined and get better throughout the match, because that's definitely something that she felt they had struggled and lacked in first time around against Southeastern.
Really a bit of a mindset adjustment right there for Harding, and you went up and you looked to see on defense, Ashley Lampkin, the redshirt freshman from Jonesboro. She looked like she was preparing to, go up and make the block, and realized that ball was heading pretty close to her. Turned around, shifted mindset, sent that through with authority. Another point for Harding. They're up 10-1 now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job at serving tough.
That one just gets through for a point for Southeastern. It's very close. You know what? The longer they stayed in that rotation, the more you thought they're going to get another 10 points out of this if you keep that same front line right there. That was that little stop along the rotation was very effective.
Yeah, I mean, I think too for Southeastern, it's really hard when Morrison's live, just because you don't have that offensive option that you did when Morrison was in there. We talked about her all year long as far as the offensive weapon that she was for Southeastern as a setter, and she just did a phenomenal job throughout her career. And so I think that's definitely, in rotations 4, 5, and 6, where Southeastern struggles now just because they don't have that weapon with Ruthie in there.
But with Denari Mills able to make plays like that off a very, very high rebounding dig from Winiger, comes across in a perfect place for Mills to get the kill. So Southeastern trailing by 7 right now. McKinnon given an opportunity to simply put that wherever she wanted to. She found the spot in the back right corner. Another point for Harding. Mills from the right side this time. Send it the other way. Kruby. Great dig. Ingersoll is there. McKinnon again. Another nice dig. Kriegel is there for that. There's Mills. And just too strong. And that's going up against a very, very tough Harding defense with Lampkin and McKinnon. Here's Mills to serve. That one goes wide. Mills will get another opportunity to serve. You know, you look at this too, and it's not often that the player of the year is going to come in off the team coming in as the 8th seed. And it's a team really, it's tough to think of Southeastern, not as the 8th seed, because Southeastern has been outside looking in so many years prior to this and really starting to find a place for itself within the conference in the postseason. But Southeastern, with a couple weeks left of the season, was tied for number 4 in the standings, and I think that's the difference that Forsum makes in the fact that she's not been there for the last couple of weeks.
Well, and I think it's really hard too because Southeastern was having such a hot streak, you know, right before Forreston had gone out with her injury, and they had a couple big wins, Harding included, and unfortunately they haven't been able to generate too much success since Forreston has gone down. And so I think for them it's how can we still stick to our game and realize that, you know, yeah, she was a very major part of this offense, but you still have great, you know, attackers on this team, great defenders on this team. You have the GAC Player of the Year, you know, on this roster. So there's still a lot of weapons that this group has.
Harding comes in having won 3 consecutive matches and then went 2-3 prior to that, but all teams, there's a miscommunication there. Harding takes advantage of it. All those teams are teams that we have seen already today. Southwestern, Washington, now Southeastern. Those 3 losses for Harding's all tournament teams. But closing out the season with wins over Arkansas Tech, Southern Arkansas, and Monticello. That will drop point for Southeastern. Noelia Roca. Amaya Constantino, 5'6" sophomore from Arlington, Texas. And she's there to keep things alive. There's Mills from the back row. It's effective. Couple of points now for the Storm.
Yeah, I think, you know, looking at Southeastern's backcourt, you know, it's really strong. You have Kriegel in the libero jersey, Constantino back there who was in the libero jersey, you know, previously, and then Mills, you know, GAC Player of the Year. So I think right now this is not a bad rotation for the Savage Storm, and you have a big block up front with the 3.
So another point for the Storm. Constantino to serve again. Mills taps this over and finds a way. 4th straight point for Southeastern.
Southeastern's done a great job at digging themselves out. You know, it was a really slow start to the 2nd set, and they started to inch their way back, down by 4 now.
Enough for Coach Fear to decide she wants to take a timeout now. Harding 14, Southeastern 10. The 1 seed and the 8 seed here in our 3rd quarterfinal match of the day.
A place that nurtures, encourages, and strengthens you. Most people call that home. We call it Harding University. Here, you will be challenged to grow spiritually, intellectually, and academically in an environment that inspires you to find your meaning and purpose. Our campus life fosters a community of people who will become lifelong friends. Come see for yourself what Harding is about. Pursue your meaning and purpose here with us at Harding University.
Logan Smith Morgan on the court now for Harding. Her team has given up 4 consecutive points, and Amaya Constantino to serve again. Tapped over, great dig. Here's Ingersoll, another great dig. And Harding not sending it through too strong. This time sends it through a little more strength. Libby Hinton there to take care of that. Let me read off a few of these names really quickly that have 50 or beside them and see if any of them sound familiar for Harding fans after getting that point right there. Libby Hinton, Sarah Moorhead, Gracia Soriano, Kelly McKinnon, Logan Smith Morgan, Emma Winiger. If you have followed the Great American Conference in volleyball or Harding in volleyball, you become well familiar with all of those names. And it's going to be interesting seeing a roster next season that doesn't have them on there. I will say this, though, for Coach Fear, she's been able to recruit well, not really in packages, but it seems like finding groups at a time that are strong. And so we talked about the fact, obviously, recruiting has to kick in for this next season to fill some of those spots, but wouldn't be surprised at all to see another strong group find its way to Searcy to be a part of this Bison's program.
Yeah, they were really excited about the group that they had just announced on National Signing Day here a couple weeks ago. And I mean, they definitely have to stay reloading, you know, if they want to stay good. And I think for them, it's been a little bit easier at times to recruit just because, you know, when you're good, people want to be good as well. So I think for them, they've definitely been a really attractive school for recruits.
That one sent through with authority. Achimpon, Southeastern, sticking around here in set number 2. Sandra Achimpon, her second kill of the day, has a couple of blocks as well.
She made an immediate impact to this group coming in this year as a transfer, and she's definitely made her name known fast.
Well, it's a name you have to practice. If you see it down in print, it's not necessarily how you might think it's pronounced. So it's one of those names you have to practice to get down right. But once you get it, yeah, then it's a name that's known.
That's why I leave it to you, Joey.
I promise I practice.
Saw a great kill from Mills there. Again, showing off her shot selection.
You know, we talk about the recruiting, by the way, for Harding, and Coach Fear year in and year out does a fantastic job. Coach Mitchell, in her 5th season now with the program, you see the recruiting starting to build up for her as well. I mean, you get some players like Ruthie Forsum, as we talked about. She's been around for a while, but Achimpon transfer to come in, and you've got Denari Mills, as we mentioned, the player of the year in the conference. But you look at her and say, wow, this is a sophomore. There's time to recruit to say, hey, listen, come play here, and you can play with someone who's the player of the year in the league, and another trip to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think Coach Gore and Coach Solomon Mitchell have done a phenomenal job at prioritizing the recruiting, you know, the last couple of years. And I think anyone in this profession knows that it's not an overnight process. You know, it's typically, you know, 4 years where you start bringing in your own kids and starting to build your own culture. And so I think that's something that they've taken a lot of pride in, that it's not an overnight process for sure.
There's Smith Morgan with the serve. And the defense right there on the line. That's tough to get around. Lampkin will get the block. She's there with McKinnon. And the Lady Bisons have another point. Just past the net. Mills right back the other way. Southeastern back to within 6. Mills with 12 kills on the day. Make that 13 now in 30 attacks. She's a little bit beyond that 4.75 kills per set number right now.
Yeah, right now she's above 6, and she's done a phenomenal job this year. I think, you know, statistically, she's someone that's on everybody's scouting report. She does such a nice job and brings such a big presence to the front line for Southeastern. And like we've mentioned multiple times, with her only being a sophomore, it's going to be really exciting to watch her throughout her career here.
Roca couldn't quite get back over on that one. A little bit of a defensive opening there. And so Ingersoll with another kill. Ingersoll with 4 of those now. Lady Bison's led by Smith Morgan. She has 8 on the day to go with 12 digs, pushing toward a double-double. Nice dig by Mills, not quite enough. And that was just great placement on that attack. Harding creeping toward its second set win. Coach Solon Mitchell calling for a timeout, finally gets the officials' attention there. They'll get that TO. We'll take the TO too. Back in a moment. Lady Bison's putting themselves in a position to advance. I was thinking about advancing along in this set and how close they are to taking set number 2. It's been a big afternoon, but there you see assistant coach Taylor Gore. Let me stop right there for a moment. I'm glad that they have that shot because it's perfect timing. We talked about what Coach Solon Mitchell has done for this team. She wanted to give a lot of credit to her assistant coach in Taylor Gore and saying, look, she's done a fantastic job and in really a lot of adjustments and training, and they've had to make some switches, of course, with Foursome out. Other people are stepping up, having to fill some spots, and she really appreciates what Taylor has done for her team.
Yeah, I think for me, I had the luxury, you know, of working with Coach Gore, and she just does so much for this program. And I think that's one of the things is you never really know what the in and outs look like of this career and the other, you know, programs. And so for me, I was definitely fortunate enough to work under her, and she grinds, you know, she works extremely hard. She took a lot of credit for the recruits that they had brought in just because she put so much of her effort and time into that. And she's a coach too that definitely goes above with the individuals and giving the girls the extra time that they need. And I mean, she definitely gives a lot to this program, and so I completely echo the compliment from Coach Solon Mitchell.
We see a lot of good, really good assistants, by the way, here in the GAC. There's some strong coaches and I mean, some big names over the course of the years that have been in and out of here. We've had an opportunity to see right here in Hot Springs, but a number of great assistants as well. Ingersoll trying to find placement. Great job the other direction. Roca can't do it. Ingersoll again, right back to Roca. She may get another shot. She will. Defense is there. Nice rally. Take it the other side. Right side that time from Kruby, and point Southeastern.
That was a really smart shot by Kruby. She wanted to take a rip on him, but she saw Harding started to back up on her defensively, so she changed up and just rolled right over that block and found the hole in their defense.
Tapped over, staying alive. This could be a free opportunity, and it will not be Roca. How about that? Thought the Lady Bisons were going to have an opportunity there easily enough, and Southeastern has not given up on set 2. Great decision by Roca, by the way.
That's something she does extremely well. I mean, she's a great out-of-system attacker. I think for her, she's one of those kids that, you know, if you're out of system, just throw it up to her. She'll make something work, and she does a really nice job at always taking a swing and setting. Even when she's sending over free balls, she's still finding a way to get teams out of system, and she brings a lot of offense to this team for sure.
Another serve for Southeastern. Kriegel serve as Harding, that will go well wide, but it was last touched, or well deep. Last touch by Southeastern, though. I think got off a fingertip there. That was just about enough. And Harding now at set point, up by 7. And Avery Hall to serve. Hall serves it deep. Nice serve. Mills from the back row. Lady Bisons with a chance. Ingersoll sends it home. Set number 2 goes to the Lady Bisons. 25-17. And we look back at this second set. Been a strong offense. Both sides have had opportunities there, but just like that, as you saw, the Lady Bisons finding the openings maybe a little bit more frequently, obviously, with an 8-point win. And Harding putting itself in a position to take this one in 3. Back in a moment with that third set here on the GAC Sports Network.
A place that nurtures, encourages, and strengthens you. Most people call that home. We call it Harding University. Here, you will be challenged to grow spiritually, intellectually, and academically in an environment that inspires you to find your meaning and purpose. Our campus life fosters a community of people who will become lifelong friends. Come see for yourself what Harding is about. Pursue your meaning and purpose here with us at Harding University.
Hey Future Readies, are you interested in a career in business? Henderson State University offers bachelor's and master's degrees in business administration and certificates in analytics, marketing and communications, and nonprofit management. Visit hsu.edu/degrees to see the full list of degree opportunities. We are here to help you be ready for what's next. Contact us at admissions@hsu.edu or visit hsu.edu/readies to apply today or schedule a campus visit.
Hey Future Readies, are you interested in a career in technology? Henderson State University offers degrees in aviation, computer science, and engineering. Visit hsu.edu/degrees to see the full list of degree opportunities. We are here to help you be ready for what's next. Contact us at admissions@hsu.edu or visit hsu.edu/readies to apply today or schedule a campus visit.
Who do we look to shape our world? It'll be people who know how to think with their heads and their hearts. People who understand that faith is not the enemy of education, but its partner. More than book smart, more than business smart. They are wise in their whole being.
We are future shapers.
Learn to live well and lead well in God's world. Be a future shaper at OBU.
Southeastern trailing 0-2 here in this third set we're heading into right now. Kriegel stepping out. Always have to love that libero entrance. Part of the pageantry of the game.
A little bit of a lineup change for Southeastern. New right side and middle.
Rayanne Earl coming in, a freshman for Southeastern. She's wearing number 17. And Elena Armstrong, a sophomore, wearing number 11. Mills trying to get things going early. Here's Smith Morgan. Her outside shot defended well. Right side, Nong strong. Same thing for Southeastern. Results the same. Long first point here in set number 3. Tapped over. Dig is there. Mills again. And Winiger stretches out for that. Smith Morgan. That one goes deep. Southeastern earns a long point. Oh, they say it was touched.
Curious if we'll see a challenge again.
Well, that was a change in that call.
Way to go. Line judge on the R1 side had called a touch and she didn't see it. A little bit of back and forth here with the captains.
Morrison will go have the discussion. Well, that middleman is someone I really don't want to be. I've watched that get back and forth so many times. You get someone out there designated to have the conversation between the coach and the official.
Coach Hall Mitchell grabbed the challenge card there, made it official.
So we'll have an opportunity to look at this one. And you know what? It is an important point.
Yeah.
Especially here in this third set. It was a long rally. You want to get that point if you can, and definitely try to get things going for your team.
Well, I think too, it was they had a great rally to start off the match or the third set. And so I think for them, if they could get this point to go their way, it shows that they're willing to go the extra mile and be a little bit, play those longer points where Harding has just been so successful, with those longer rallies.
So the replay official has made her decision. Oh. And I believe that she was saying that no, that was not touched. Southeastern will get the point. So the Savage Storm opened set number 3 with a point. That was the original call. And as you said, the adjustment there as the up official didn't see the line judge's call. So point Southeastern.
I mean, that could be the difference, too, that Southeastern need going into this third set is just, something to kind of be more giggly about and find some energy for them. They saw a lot of joking on the sideline during the challenge, and it's something that the coaching staff always laughs about when they get to the conference tournament, that there is the challenge ability. And honestly, they get a little giggly getting to use it. So I think for them, this could be, the boost of confidence that this group needs.
That one hit back into the net. Speaking of hitting it into the net, serve goes there, so Southeastern gives up a point really quickly. Storm with a 2-1 advantage now as Hinton serve. And Hinton back, that one deep off of Avery Hall, and Southeastern up 3-1 right now.
Yeah, the changes that Coach Hall Mitchell had made, in between sets 2 and 3 are paying off for the Savage Storm right now.
It's at the point in the season as Harding manages to keep this one alive. Winiger will send it over. Free opportunity for Southeastern. And Achimpong takes advantage of it. Southeastern up 4-1. Seriously, at this point, what do you have to lose, number one? Because it would be the final match of the season if you do lose it. And secondly, This is an opportunity to put in some new players and give them conference tournament experience on top of that. And if you want to come back and be a part of it next season, have some players that have been out there and done it before, and they're not scared to be in that spotlight. Southeastern 5, Harding 1. Coach Fierce says that's enough. Let's take a timeout. We'll do so as well.
If you're not at home, where else would you be? Not the kind of home you're familiar with, but the kind that helps you become them. Or them. The kind where you become a part of a community that builds you up. A community that doesn't just give you the answers, but helps you discover them for yourself. Home is where the mule riders are. When you're a mule rider, you're not walking down a predetermined trail. You're blazing your own. The world is full of unsettled questions with so much to explore. Enter it with full reins of knowing who you are, where you come from, and what ignites your flame. Here at home, you have no limits. Reach for the stars and don't stop there. As a mule rider, you decide what's possible. Stop imagining what you could do and do it here. Think bigger. Think faster. Let's ride. Don't worry, you're not far from home. Because home is where the mule riders are.
Great American Conference in its 13th season. It's neat to be able to say that now. History continuing to build and to unfold right in front of us. Harding trying to make a historical 3-game sweep here in this opening round of the tournament. Not that the Lady Bisons haven't had some 3-game sweeps in this tournament before, but want to add to its own history. You get a point coming out of the timeout. Achimpong doesn't get that one to fall. Smith Morgan on the other side. Defense is there for the Storm. This time, McKinnon able to get one through.
Yeah, if you're Southeastern, you really need to prioritize this first ball and hold your lead early on, just to give you momentum, throughout this third set.
Served by Widor. Roca off the defense, and the Lady Bisons can't put that back into play, and Southeastern with another quick point. One more match on the docket today, by the way. Hope you've been with us all day long, and don't forget that the 4 and 5 seeds will be in our nightcap tonight. I suppose that's a loose term. Should be a 5:30 start, depends on how late things go. The 4-seed Henderson State taking on the 5-seed Southern Arkansas. That's our final match of the day. That will be the next broadcast here on the GAC Sports Network. That one pushed back. Roca maybe a little strong. McKinnon put some strong into that swing, and another point for Skylar McKinnon here in this third set. There's those Henderson State readies. Set as Achimpong. That one taken by Widor. Another opportunity. They're going to give it to Mills from the back row. Can't get that one. Ingersoll. Still an opportunity. Roca, strong, high. It could be saved. Smith Morgan keeps it around, and Widor gets it all the way over. And another opportunity for Southeastern, though. If Harding comes away with the point here, that is big. McKinnon and Mills. The save, not enough. There's 4. Harding gets a huge point. Credit Smith Morgan with that save. And we've seen that so many times over the year from her. Not only the offense, but what she's been able to do to keep points in play just like that. And she took off toward somewhere around Lake Hamilton to try to make that save and keeps it in. And now now serving. McKinnon, nice job at the net by the Storm. Here's McKinnon again. Tries to change directions, instead puts it directly into the net. And Southeastern back to a 2-point lead. Lewis serving for Southeastern now. Ingersoll, and Lewis is there with the dig. Morrison tried to just tap that over, goes behind her head there and didn't have the right direction.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, she was put right on the net, and you know, the sophomore is 6 feet tall, definitely has size on her side, and when she's live, it's a good option, but just unfortunately she couldn't execute there.
Winiger gets the ace. Her first of the afternoon. Third for Harding this afternoon. And Harding looking like they're playing a little more loose now here in the third set. Meanwhile, Denari Mills adds to her kill total on the day. She has 14 now. She's on a pace to go well above that 4.75 mark, clearly. Ingersoll answers. 8 apiece.
Harding has done a really nice job here in the third set to kind of close the gap. You know, Southeastern jumped out quick early to a 5-1 lead at the timeout, and Harding's done a really nice job at, you know, creeping their way back slowly.
Mills again. For Southeastern, you just love Mills being in that portion of the court, and Morrison makes up for where she didn't get that one earlier. Southeastern back on top by 1.
I think too for Southeastern, you know, even though you lose a big leader on the court with Forrest, and you can see on the sideline she's still very actively involved, and she's definitely has been a mentor for Morrison since she's been out, and really just focusing on, you know, helping this team offensively, and when she's live, she needs to be an offensive option.
Southeastern with a violation. Harding will get the point. Horsham has a lot to offer volleyball even after her time is done. A number of players that have come through here in recent months and even today, recent years and even today, that you would think they might have an opportunity maybe to get back to the game a little bit.
I would hope so. She's a great volleyball brain. I mean, she was an incredible athlete and had a phenomenal career at Southeastern. You hate to see it end on an injury, you know, but she's still very actively involved there on the sideline and really engaged, and just has given everything she has to this program.
Mills takes a little off that. Now an opportunity for Harding. Smith Morgan makes it happen. Harding's lead now 2. As not only have they crept back into this one, they're taking a 2-point advantage. And I said it just a few points back, it looks like here in this third set where Harding was playing a little tight early on, they've loosened up just a little bit, playing a little bit more like the top seed right now.
You could see there at the start of the third set, they started to get a little bit nervous when Southeastern kind of gained a little more confidence and they were playing a little bit more clean. And so I think for, you know, this Bison offense, it's got to be going back to what you did in set 1, set 2, because it worked.
Violation in Southeastern. And Harding now with 4 straight points after this was tied at 9 apiece. Storm, you just don't want to let this get away from you at this point in time, and Harding threatening to do just that. And a fortuitous bounce off the net.
Yeah, that certainly caught an awkward bounce, and I think the Southeastern players had thought it hit the antenna.
Southeastern will take a timeout. What? That's as fortuitous, I think, as they come. A service ace is what it will prove to be. And a timeout on the court as Southeastern will slow things down for just a moment.
We see you. You're incredible potential and willpower set you apart. You're first to take that leap of faith. First to get to work. First to solve the problem. No burden should be carried alone. We'll be there. Every step, day, challenge. First is your destiny. We get it because first is who we are.
It's your moment. It's your moment.
It's your moment.
Harding has played some strong defense, as you've seen their play at the net. There they are again. McKinnon. Looks like some dance moves over on the sideline there.
Yeah, before we got started today, talking with Coach Fears about, their defense, and that was something she really prided herself on.
Well, they've shown it today. Sarah Moorhead, by the way, with some, she still has some moves. She may be on the sideline right now, but you were, I don't know. Did you call them old, Noah?
I don't think those words came out of my mouth.
I'm just checking. Talking about those fifth-year players, and the bodies had seen some wear and tear on this court. So it's, you know what, realistically, I mean, you put 5 years in, and it's going to take its toll.
Well, I think, too, for those fifth years, it's not only the 5 years of playing and just being a college athlete, but how involved they were, you know, in the Harding offense. And it took a lot of jumps in individual matches, let alone their entire career. And the wear and tear can definitely set on you on year 2, let alone year 5.
Year 5, exactly. Harding continuing to keep this run going. Nice job at the net by Southeastern. They'll go right side, and it will find the back right corner. Harding now with 8 consecutive points here in this third set. And how did that find the inside? We went from the back right corner to the back left corner. The ace.
It's a phenomenal serve from Harding.
Straight. Wow. Well, you think the run had to come to an end at some point in time. Finally, it does. Southeastern stops that run. Harding with 6 aces here to just 2 for Southeastern. Indicative of the way this match has gone. The top seed trying to take care of business and move on into the second round. Roca took a little bit off of that one. Won't get another chance. They'll go right side. And boy, I talked about taking a little bit off of that one. Armstrong took too much off of that one. It's one of those things you get in the air and you make the decision as to which direction you're going to go and how strong you're going to hit the ball. And I mean, there are a whole lot of things that factor in, and sometimes you just misfire. And I think that's what happened right there. So Harding up 19-10, 20-10.
Make that ace number 7 for Harding. I mean, they've done a phenomenal job today as far as prioritizing the serve and pass game. You know, they've been really successful out of serve receive, and they're serving, Southeastern off the court, keeping them out of system, and, getting the middles out of play for Southeastern.
I know you had a chance to talk with Coach Fear. I did as well prior to the game, and asked her very simply, so what are we looking at today? What do you think we're going to see? And her entire conversation followed with, I have no idea. I said, Coach, that's not going to make for good broadcast. She said, but it's true. I have no idea. I think she has to be pleased with what she's seen from her team today as it just continues to roll here in this third set. And Southeastern calls a timeout, trailing by 11. Harding 4 sets from advancing to the semifinals as this game rolls on. Back in a moment.
We see you. Your incredible potential and willpower set you apart. You're first to take that leap of faith. First to get to work. First to solve the problem. No burden should be carried alone. We'll be there. Every step, day, challenge. First is your destiny. We get it because first is who we are.
It's your moment. It's your moment.
It's your moment.
Savage Storm trying to extend this just a little bit longer. They're in a difficult position right now. The 8 seed, which, by the way, again, Southeastern, early in the season, you wouldn't think, hey, they're just going to be happy to make it. It's a team that hasn't been in the postseason tournament with frequency in recent years, but they were looking so good at that number 4 spot in the standings. And then, of course, with Forsum going down, lost a few games near the end of the season. You might say, okay, happy to make it at this point in time, but still, you want to give it all out there on the court right now, and it's going to be tough watching those last few points go off the board if it continues at this pace. And Harding doing everything it can. Libby Hinton, the 5th-year player, with another serve.
Yeah, I mean, not even 3 weeks ago, this was definitely the 4th-ranked team in this conference, and so it's definitely, hard to see that injury and the line judge there in the corner.
I was going to say, when your attack actually hits the line judge, you have a feeling it's going to be out.
Yes.
She smiled when she raised her flag.
Officiating crew this weekend has been phenomenal so far.
They do a good job here. They really do. Tapped over, perfect placement, absolutely perfect placement, and yet
for Harding, that's awesome to see too. Your setter be able to create some offense on their own, even when they're backcourt.
Avery Hall getting some good time today. Weidor, another service ace, her 3rd of the day, and it is match point. Harding up 24-11. Lady Bison's looking to advance. Weidor. Taps over. Smith Morgan on the right side. Defense is there, not enough. It will stay on the Southeastern side of the court, and Harding will advance. 6th, 5th-year players on this team. They move on to see another day, and they do it in fine fashion with a 3-game sweep of Southeastern here. The top seed moves on. Noah, it really was just a strong performance all the way around from Harding today.
Yeah, I think they did a really nice job of controlling their side. We had talked with Coach Fears earlier in the match, and she felt very frazzled, to say the least, as far as what to expect from her group. But they did a phenomenal job, and they really executed at a high level. I think they did a really nice job of controlling their sides, playing clean, looking disciplined. And I think, going into tomorrow, that's a dangerous team to play.
24-15, 24-17, 24-11. Harding comes away with that 3-set victory. Big day overall. Player of the year in Denari Mills. 14 kills on the day, 3 digs. She hit 152. It just wasn't quite enough. Southeastern hits 0-29 for the match. And you look over at what Harding does at 257, 248 in that 3rd set. It just was a strong effort on the part of the Harding Lady Bisons today. 3 players with 10 kills, led by Logan Smith Morgan, Skylar McKinnon, J.C. Lambert, each with 10 kills. A double-double on the day for Logan Smith Morgan to go along with 14 digs. Avery Hall and Olivia Weidor with 15 and 20 assists, respectively. One more match on the way. The 4 seed, the 5 seed. It's coming up next on the GAC Sports Network.